Thank you for tuning into Vanity Talk. Hi, Vanity Girls. It's Lanaya Chauncey here with another video for you guys. I just want to get into how my journey has been moving to New York. I know, super exciting, super exciting. And it has been, to say the least. It really has been the most amazing experience. I'm going to do this podcast today. No notes, no extra, no nothing, just raw feels about how I feel about moving and everything. The first thing that I want to get into is just my experience so far. I've been here for about a month. I am going back home on Sunday just to see my mom, my dog, my family before I permanently stay here, and it's a done deal. It has been a very great experience. I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about maturing, growing. It's truly been probably one of the best things that I've done for myself, even though it has been extremely scary, and I really just had to put my best foot forward and believe in myself in this whole experience. Let's start with how this whole idea of moving back home even started. I have always felt a connection to New York. I was born here, partially raised here, partially raised in Jersey. I lived in New York. I lived in Brooklyn and Brownsville for a majority of my life. I lived in Brownsville, Brooklyn, until I want to say about kindergarten. I lived with my grandmother, and then we moved to Canarsie, me and my mom and her ex-husband. We moved to Canarsie, and that's pretty much where I was raised up until 3rd grade. Then after 3rd grade, I still lived here on and off, but I went to school in Jersey. So up north is pretty much all I know. I moved to Georgia when my mom got divorced from her ex-husband around starting my 9th grade year, 2020. And it was a really weird change for me. I was dying to go to Atlanta for a lot of different reasons. I really just wanted a fresh start. I went through a lot with my mom's ex-husband, and it was just not a good experience for me, and I really wanted to be around family. Majority of my family was moving to Atlanta, and I really felt like Atlanta was going to be my fresh start. So we moved to Atlanta, and I actually really did pretty good for myself. My mom did good for herself. She got us a beautiful home, and she provided us with an amazing life. I just always felt like there was something calling me back home. It's weird because going from the city, you see all this life, and then going to straight trees and not much around. I did live in the suburbs of Atlanta, so it was just really different, and I felt really disconnected, and I put a lot of that disconnect that I felt into work, and that's really what helped me get through being in a new environment that I wasn't necessarily used to or didn't necessarily feel connected to. So I put a lot of that into my job, and I became very connected with my job, and that's how I found myself being in Atlanta. But I just felt like there was always something calling me back home. A lot of stuff happened this year, mainly with my car, realizing who my real friends are, who my real friends aren't, graduating high school, realizing that college might not be for me, and I really just decided that, I need a change. I'm tired of doing the same thing every year. My main reason for moving back was mainly the transportation of it all, just because if you don't have a car in Atlanta, you're not going anywhere. It's as simple as that. You're not going anywhere unless you have Uber or unless you have your mom. And I mean, in Atlanta, in the actual city of Atlanta, there is public transportation, but I lived in the suburbs of Atlanta, so no, there's no public transportation, babe. It's 40 minutes to an hour. Traffic, which there always is, an hour and 30 to Atlanta. No, I'm not going anywhere. So it just wouldn't have worked well with working and all of that stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I have family here. this is where I need to be. And I just really felt very strongly about that. And if you know me, you know that I talk a lot of game. I say I want to do things and I never really put it into fruition. I am a very determined person and I'm very much a go-getter, but when it comes to making very big changes, I am not very well at adapting to change. I just felt something calling me back home. I prayed on it, went to church on it. I constantly asked myself and asked God if this was the right move, because honestly, it's terrifying. I'm an only child and all I know is my mother. All I know is my mother. I was up under her butt since I was born. I never realized how much I really relied on my mother until I moved here and I realized, wow, my mom's not coming to save me. I don't have my mom to make every decision for me. I don't have my mom to guide me in everything I do. I don't have my mom to pick me up in an uncomfortable situation. I don't have my mom to do things for me. I don't have that anymore. I have family here. I live with my grandmother and my uncle and my grandfather, but they all have their own lives. So it really is me navigating things on my own. My uncle literally told me when I came here, like, hey, you're gonna be on your own for the most part. Like, you're gonna be doing things. Like, we can't guide you through everything. And they've done an amazing job at making me feel comfortable and making me feel safe and easing my way into this transition. But honestly, no amount of talk could have prepared me for the change that I just made. And it's only begun. I really haven't even gotten the real taste of it. Um, but yeah, that's just what fueled me to even move here. Another thing that I want to talk about is how many people I felt like were doubting me out of love, and in no way, shape, or form do I think that it came out of malicious intent or, trying to put me down on purpose. But a lot of the time, when people are scared or worried for you, they will project their own feelings about something that you're choosing to do onto you. And I take a lot of people, especially my family's and close friends' approval very seriously. And I worked so hard to make sure that it did not get in my head about what I was doing. Let's be real, if you don't go to college right after high school, a lot of people look at you as a failure. I tried college, didn't like it. It didn't work for me. I couldn't do it anymore. I'm like, listen, I can't take any more of this. I need to make a change in my life. There was a lot of family members and friends telling me, oh yeah, you're not gonna like it. Girl, you're gonna wanna come right back. New York's not for you. What are you doing? Are you sure this is what you want to do? I just was, the fact that it didn't get in my head and have me second guessing really showed me like, hey, maybe this is really what you're meant to do, because you've stuck this out, you've thought about it, you prayed on it, you wrote about it, you journaled about it, you talked to your therapist about it. I'm like, listen, this is something that you have to do for yourself. Just really connecting with myself and realizing like you are gonna make this decision for yourself. You know what I mean? There's going to be 1,000 people telling you that you can and can't do something. And it's up to you to put it in fruition for yourself at the end of the day. I really had to realize that this is my life and no one is going to be able to make me successful but me. No one is going to be able to make big decisions but me. And doing this at 18, freshly out of high school a few months ago, is very nerve-wracking. Very nerve-wracking. This is not a city to play around in. I know it's romanticized. It's like this amazing city, and I even romanticize it as this amazing magical city, but there's a lot of stuff that comes with moving here, especially when you've lived in the suburbs for quite a while. You kind of get used to not having to watch every bit of your surroundings, not having to be on 10 all the time. It's just a lot. It really is. And it's been the most intense and scariest feeling, but the most fulfilling and truly amazing experiences that I could ever have. And it's only the beginning. Don't let anyone deter you from what you think you have to do in this life, because you're the only one living it. You're the only one living it. Another thing that I want to get into is how much just my decision to move has changed my perspective on so many things. I truly feel like when you eliminate all of the outside noises of people who are not like-minded like you, closed-minded people who are around you, and people who do not give you the confidence and give you the support to truly be the person that you want to be, you can truly change how you see things. Moving to New York has completely eliminated any outside noise because I am completely unknown. I am restarting my circle, and I have never been happier. I've never had more clarity in my mind. I've never had more motivation to get things done and to be the person that I want to be, because I don't have people in my ear telling me how they feel about things or their insecurities about things that are kind of rubbing off on me. And I know that you can't let others deter you from doing things that you want to do, but it's really, really hard when you are surrounded around people who are not as motivated to get to the things that you want to get to. I have been so creative, and I have been putting myself out there, and I have truly been able to explore the true person that I am and find my own identity, because I am by myself, and I have friends here, but I am kind of in solitude in a way where it's really just me against myself, me against the world. You know what I mean? I have been able to start this podcast. I have been able to be more comfortable putting my personality on social media. I've been more comfortable to explore different things that I like to do. I have been able to explore different things about myself that I like. I have been able to really put myself out there and not be afraid of being seen, because honestly, it's just me, myself, and I. And I know it's not going to be like that forever, but truly having the clarity of being in a new state and not being surrounded around anyone who can tell you how they feel about what you're doing has truly helped me become the person that I want to be and give me so much motivation. I feel like a lot of the times we don't realize the company that we keep can really deter us from becoming our best selves. A lot of people that we might surround ourselves around are insecure or aren't as comfortable showing themselves in certain lights, and it can kind of make us feel like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't do this, or oh wait, maybe I'm not cut out to do this. And it's just far from the truth. When you actually put yourself in a position where it's just you and you're the only one who can decide what you're going to do with your day or decide what you're going to post on social media, and there's no one else to tell you how they feel about it, it truly gives you the peace of mind to do what you want to do in this life. I feel like if you ever feel stuck, take that risk. Take that risk and just see where it takes you. I'm not gonna sit here and act like everything is going to be okay when you move to a new city. Yeah, you're going to be alone. Yeah, you're going to wonder if this is the right decision for you. Yeah, you're going to wonder if you just made this impulsive decision and you don't know where it's going to take you. But at the end of the day, all you can rely on is yourself and God. You have to trust that you are leading yourself in the right direction and that you are going to take yourself to where you need to be taken. Another thing that moving has taught me was that I need to put my trust in God. It was so hard for the longest time to trust God. I always felt his presence around me, and I always knew that I was highly blessed and that he was always around me. But putting your trust in him and really realizing like you need him to get to where you want to be is something that I have sat with and thought about. The other day, I was laying in bed and I just started bursting out in tears, crying to God for him to give me a sign that I'm meant to be here and this is what I'm meant to do and I'm making the right decision in my life. And I truly felt myself putting myself in his hands, putting myself in God's hands. Like, hey, God, I need your help to direct me and tell me if this is where I need to be, if this is where I'm meant to go, if I'm doing what I need to do. And I truly, truly, in my heart, felt his presence and felt his comfort. to cry to him and tell him, hey God, I am scared about this decision I'm making. Hey God, I might have been in a little bit of denial and a little bit of delusion land that, oh, I'm just going to move to this new city and my life is going to completely change. I truly sat with him and sat with myself, and I realized, like, the fact that you even got this far and put yourself in this scary, uncomfortable predicament and you are making the best of it is why you are meant to be here, and is why I am meant to be here, and is why I am meant to keep going, and why I am meant to be the best version of myself. And that is my testimony at the end of the day. Trusting God was something that I found so hard. No matter how many times I went to church, I just always felt so disconnected. But when you're in that space where it's like, hey, I have nothing left, I have nobody else to rely on, God is going to show himself to you and he's going to reveal himself to you. Hey, lean on me. Listen to me. Trust me. I got you. And you are going to feel that deeply. And it's going to be the most amazing feeling ever, the most freeing feeling ever, that you are doing the right thing. And that is truly what I felt in that moment. So I just want to tell everyone who is thinking about taking that risk to do it. Do it no matter what anybody says. If you feel in your heart that this is something that you need to do for yourself, do it. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. If you want to start that podcast, if you want to start that business, if you want to move to a new state, if you want to quit college because you feel like it's not for you, if you want to go to college because you feel like I need to get this education for what I want to do in my life, do it. Because it's only you in this lifetime. And you only get to live once. And I never wanted to go into my life and think that I stayed somewhere just because I was comfortable and I was scared to take that leap of faith. I just simply couldn't do that to myself. I couldn't do that to myself. I have been so free in my own expression. The way that I dress has changed. The way that I thought has changed. I was scared to get a freaking bob. Like, what? I was scared to get a bob because I was so caught up on how are other people going to think about what I'm wearing. And I have been so in tune with myself and my own fashion and my own self-expression to just do what I want. And it has been the most amazing feeling. And as somebody who struggled with self-expression and really knowing what my identity was, even though I always had a strong personality, just inside, I was just empty and I just didn't know who I wanted to be, truly. But moving to a city where you're surrounded around so many people hustling and constantly putting themselves out there and constantly showing up for themselves every day and constantly defying the odds, it really gives you that motivation and that push. And that is what New York gives me. That is what New York fuels in me. It fuels in a whole new level of motivation. Whenever I go to the city, I don't know, it's just this feeling that I can do anything, that I can make anything of myself. And I truly believe that. I have never believed in myself this much. I've never truly felt like you can do anything you put your mind to. I know that's something that parents tell us. I know that's something that our peers tell us and people in our lives tell us, but I have truly never felt that until I put myself in this uncomfortable position where I have no other choice but to believe in myself and bet on myself and make that change. And it only starts with that one change that you make. I am not a motivational speaker. This is not a TED Talk. This is what you need to do to glow up. This is simply raw emotion that if that is what you need to do to get your life together and that is what you need to do to feel like yourself again, do it. This was not a I want freedom sort of thing. This is not I just want to run and get out of my mother's house. This was I truly need to be here so I can feel like myself. Worst case scenario, in a couple months, if it doesn't work out, I always have a home to go back home to. I truly feel at home and at peace with myself and my decision and what I made and the decision I made. And I'm truly happy with the decision that I made. And I truly feel the happiest. I feel so much like myself and I feel unstoppable, honestly. I've never felt more beautiful. I've never felt more free. I've never felt more motivated. I've never felt more passionate. And that's my testimony. Another thing that I want to talk about is the safety aspect of moving to New York. The part that I say is scary is just because relying on my mom so much and having somebody telling me the decisions that I need to make, I never realized how scary the world truly is, and being thrown into that pit of New York where it's like it's you against everyone else. Taking the train is scary. When I was younger, I used to run around the train station like the world was mine. Now, it is super scary. I was on the train today with a friend and there was a guy staring at me, but in a creepy kind of predatory way, and I was super scared. Super scared. And I'm not even about to sit up here and act like I'm in the best part of New York, because I'm not. I moved out of my nice, comfortable home to come back to the trenches. Yeah, it's super scary. But it's self-development, and it teaches me about looking around my surroundings and making sure that I'm keeping myself safe every day and really knowing where you are, where you at. That's the maturity that I gained. So yeah, moving to New York is not a magical place. New York is a lot going on. It is a lot going on. Can't even lie to you. If you come here and you've never been here before, girl, all I'm gonna say is you better have God by your side. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Learning how to take the train again has been difficult. I've gotten lost a couple times. And I've only took it so many times. I think I took the train now like about 2 to 3 times by myself, the bus 2 to 3 times by myself, and it's definitely been difficult. I've gotten very overstimulated. I have anxiety on top of that. But it's been so beneficial. That feeling that you get when you make it back home safe after you figured it out yourself is a feeling that I can't even explain to anyone. There is a lot going on here. You do have to watch your surroundings, especially me not being in the most wonderful, nice part of New York. It is very scary. But like I said, you and God. You and God, babe. That's what you got. That's what you need. And that's what's going to get you through it at the end of the day. But I think romanticizing it and finding the good out of everything at the end of the day, every single day, has what's kept me going and kept me realizing, like, hey, you're doing it. You're making it. You're making the moves. You're making the hard steps, and you're taking it like a champ. And that has what's helped me overcome that fear. So, that's just been my experience with it all. New York has a lot to offer you if you take it. Like I said, I'm not a motivational speaker. This is raw, no notes. So I might be yapping, don't know what I'm talking about, but this is just off the dome. I just want to tell everyone on this podcast that if you have something in your heart constantly beating and going to your mind and telling you, like, hey, don't forget me. Hey, don't forget this thought I had. Hey, put this into fruition. Put it into fruition. Do it. Because nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to do it for you. You don't need the advice of everyone. You don't need to ask everyone, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, should I do this? Hey, how you feel about this? Do it yourself. Think about it yourself. Feel it yourself. Trust your intuition and trust that God got you. Other than that, this has been an amazing experience. I get to go home and see my family for a couple weeks, then I'm back in the rat race. Keep growing and glowing. Keep doing you. Stay true to yourself. And you'll make it in life. And I truly believe that I will make it in life. And I truly believe that this year is my year. And I truly believe that I'm going to flourish in this lifetime. So Thanks for listening to my podcast, Vanity Girls, and I hope all of you secure that bag. I hope all of y'all live y'all dreams. I hope all of y'all just make it. I want to see us all win. That's all I want to do, and I just want to share my experiences while I'm winning every day. Every day I win. Every day I'm winning in one way or another. If it's a small win, if it's a big win, I'm winning big. And so are you. You're winning by just listening to this podcast. So thank you so much for joining me for these couple of minutes, and I wish all of you amazing things, and I pray that God is protecting you all. And thank you so much for supporting me and listening to me. Love you guys. Bye, Vanity Girl.